It is Tuesday, the 7th of January 2025, and the European markets have just opened. I have a few planned entries for this morning, and will be waiting for my setups to form. We'll first be looking at the UK 100, and if the first 5-minute bar is a negative bar, I will be looking for an entry when price revisits the low of that bar. If it's a positive bar, then this entry is invalid. I will also be looking for the second 5-minute bar in the DAX, which is the German index. But this entry hasn't been the most reliable lately, so I might not take it and just observe it as I did yesterday. But we will see when we get there. So I'll pause you for now and bring you back when we're closer to an entry. So we did post a negative bar here, and this is actually an entry here now, right below it, and it's my usual stop of about 18 points here. So it's this. And it's just under 0.5% risk, which is what I want to risk. So let's see. Now you might say, looking at the price, that I've rushed and I could have waited a few seconds, but a lot of the times it will just clip the low end, go back up. This is a very researched entry, so I'm perfectly comfortable entering here, even if I have to face a bit of drawdown. That's fine, and I do expect this low to hold. But yeah, it's kind of like yesterday. If you remember, we had the exact same entry yesterday, and it first went into drawdown before reversing. So I'm hoping that it's going to be the same today. Obviously yesterday I got a bit unlucky. I moved the stop loss after I added to the position. So today, if we move back up and I decide to add, I will leave this stop untouched. So it's really decision time here. I'm hoping it holds. If it doesn't, then it's just a losing trade, it's fine. I forgot to tell you about yesterday. So we had this take profit here. Then I had the SPX trade, which was a long based off the fourth 15-minute bar. That didn't work out, and I left 2 trades open when I closed the video. And one was the sell in the Dow, which almost stopped us out, but then it didn't. I shorted here. It initially went our direction, but then rallied back to previous day high. My stop was around here, just above it. It didn't get clipped. And then I exited close to the end of the trading day. When I checked the price, I decided not to leave it, because I felt like previous day low would be support. Yeah, I didn't want to hold this overnight as well. I did decide to let gold trade overnight. So the gold trade is still running, as you can see. It's the trade we had opened yesterday, when we got tagged here. On the order I had left open, and then it rallied, so I'm letting this run. I have an ambitious TP here, but I'll see if we get previous day high and I don't see strength here. I might decide to close it, but for now I leave it open. So the second 5-minute bar in the DAX has completed. It is a 30-point bar, which is perfectly fine and reasonable. So normally I would be adding a buy order above it and a sell order below it. Yesterday this trigger worked fine, and before the holidays this trigger was one of my better ones, one of the best ones I had. But in the last few days of December it didn't work out so well, which probably isn't that relevant. Those aren't really traditional trading days. So here, when it goes below, I would actually sell short. But I feel like I should still let this entry for a few more days to see if it regains its strength. So for now, I will manage this trade. And yeah, I'm also considering a few other entries, but I don't see anything that's clear now, so I'll get back to you on that if I see anything that's worth entering. Bringing you back here. So we have gone below the second 5-minute bar. This would be a sell, just like yesterday. If you remember yesterday, it was kind of similar. Here, I would have sold short, but I decided to pass. It would have worked. Targeting the low of Asia session. So here, where would we target? We would obviously, I wouldn't go as low as the actual low of Asia session, but I would go towards the lower end of this ranging zone. Generally, this move brings, when it works, it brings around 40 to maximum 50 points of profit. So I would be probably looking at this area for my target if I had entered. But let's see what happens. I'm not too upset if it works. I'm actually hoping it works, even if I'm not in the trade, because this is an entry that I researched a lot and it's worked great in the past, so I hope to use it again. For that, I want it to work, even if I'm not in the trade. The UK 100 trade isn't really working out, but we're still in it. Not too far off from getting stopped out, but let's see what happens. I'm checking higher time frames on the US indices, but see here we've entered kind of a ranging pattern on the Dow. Looking on the daily time frame at this trend line being broken to the downside, I do expect more selling to come. But we could easily see a retracement before some sell happens. So we could be going to the, if we put the Fibonacci here to this area here, 61 to 70% retracement. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get here and actually touch the trend line from below before selling more. So this is why I'm not really convinced to keep my sell position. This is why I even closed it yesterday. Looking at the higher time frames, it felt like, even though obviously there's a case to be made that selling can continue here, especially looking at this bar. But yeah, I think first we would have to see a stronger move here that acts as manipulation. So if we were to see a strong move down and then back into the range, then I would be inclined to go long. If I would see a strong move up here and then back down, I would be inclined to sell. Until I see that, I'm not really interested here. Okay, so just like yesterday, we are attempting to go back into the range here. This is very similar to what happened yesterday in the UK 100. And here it was. We entered long around here, had our stop here, managed to avoid it. Then I added here, and the add-on stop was around here. I decided to move the original stop as well to here, and then we got stopped out on both entries before large rally. So that was just unfortunate. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. But I might be a bit weary of adding. I might just let the original entry work out. So I just realized I haven't really thought about a potential target here. What would a potential target be here? I would say somewhere around half of this range, so a bit above half, let's say. So yeah, I think this is fine. This works like a 1.5 R&R, which again is pretty standard for me. Of course, if we get close to here and I see it having strength, I might move it further up. Because I always think there's a chance we revisit these highs, so we could easily revisit this. Because this is a range now, and we're at the bottom end of the range, rejecting the bottom end of the range. So we could easily return to the higher end of that range. But let's not be that aggressive. Let's leave it here for now. I mean, we're not even in profit yet, and I'm thinking about targets. Yeah, this is exactly the scenario from yesterday so far. So hopefully by not moving the stop loss. I do end up winning it today, but let's see. The DAX has been selling. I would have entered at around 75, so I would have had like 25 points of profit at best so far, and my target would have been at around 25, 27. There's still some ways to go, but let's see. Other indices are kind of subdued. The US indices in the morning so far. And gold is perhaps attempting a breakout. Let's see how a trend line looks here. So it could be like this. If we ignore the bigger wick here, which is just manipulation. So as long as we stay above this, I'm confident to keep this trade open and let it run. So yeah, this is the status right now, and I'll pause you and bring you back when something exciting happens, hopefully. So update time, the UK 100 has recovered nicely. This is exactly the scenario from yesterday. Now, here I might be tempted to add to my position, but I do need to be wary of this wick here and this bearish bar, so we might be seeing some sellers step in here, move the price back down to previous day low. So I'm not going to add here. I'm going to be sensible and just let it run. I will not touch the stop loss. It's going to be at the same 18 points as it's been since the start. I'm hoping that we will, just like yesterday, eventually break through this and move higher. So I'll just let that run. Gold is also quite quiet right now, but it's in nice profit, and I'm gonna let it run, see what happens. I would consider adding in gold if we revisit this trend line and reject it. So this was actually a good point to add to it, but the market almost opened. I was focused on preparing, and I didn't really consider adding to the gold trade at that time, but this would have been a great place to do it. However, I'm quite happy to let it run on its own. The DAX hasn't really worked out that well off the second bar so far. Of course, I wouldn't have moved my stop loss. My stop to the DAX entry would still be here, so if we keep selling from here, it could still have been a good entry, but we'll see. Either way, I'm not bothered with not taking it, although I would like it to see it go down. Like I expected, some sellers are stepping in here probably, but I do think there is a good chance that we power through them, maybe even directly, unlike yesterday, but we'll see. I'll just be sensible. This is the open P&L. I'm not taking anything off or something like that. And if we revisit this, I will be tempted to add, like I said. So I'll pause you again and see what happens. So it is decision time here because we are double topping in the 5 minute. Of course, there's going to be again some selling pressure here, but I feel like this move has been quite strong. And I would be very surprised if we don't actually attempt to move higher here, even if there is a sort of retracement happening. I'm still not going to move, even touch the stop loss at all. We need like 7 more points to hit TP here. So I would be surprised if we just actually power through here, but we could get lucky. I think it's more likely that we do see a bit of retracement, and then I would expect the buyers who seem to be strong to power through here. There might even be a case to be made to move this up, but I think I'll just leave it like that. And the DAX is rallying as well, moving closer to previous day high. So I would have likely lost in this trade because I don't think I would have exited here at all. I would have let it run. I mean, the DAX is also very strong. It's been rallying for ages. So yeah, you don't really want to be caught short for too long. Gold is making a little pullback, so let's see how deep it goes. I might add if we get to this area. Of course, I'm not going to add as much. I'm going to add like this, which is the original entry as well. I mean, this is a low size, but it's meant to be a move that I leave open for several days, so a swing move, a swing trade, so that's why it's much lower size. So the add-on is going to be similar if an add-on happens. Let's see, we're close. We need like 5 more points here, 4 more points for take profit would be nice to just hit. Like I said, there's now a good chance that this happens and this moves even higher, but I'll be sensible and give this area of supply here a bit more respect. I think DAX might have a reaction here at previous day high, and I'm wondering if it will influence the UK 100 as well. Let's see if we can get a live take profit. We're very close now. Need like 2 points. I mean, at this point, I would just obviously expect to hit it before a retracement happens. Then we just don't really care about the retracement anymore. But let's see, we could get unlucky and see the retracement happen now. You could say that we were lucky not to get stopped out, and of course there is a bit of luck involved, both today and yesterday, to not get stopped out. But at the same time, there's a reason I do an 18-point stop loss and an 18-point precisely. I've researched this, and generally 18 points is the right number. You could go to 20, but I feel like 18 is enough, and it keeps you alive in most situations. So you might say it's lucky, but it's also highly researched, and both yesterday and today the 18 points survived. So it's when I moved it up that I got stopped out. So yeah. But let's see. I'll wait a few more seconds, maybe it hits while I'm recording. If not, I'll just pause. Okay, so I'll just pause. I do think we're gonna get a bit of a retracement here now, which is fine. So I'll bring you back. So update here, we have had a push down, and buyers have stepped in as anticipated. So hopefully we just move higher from here. We're also at a point we could be adding here. Let's see. So I'm going to add another 0.03 here. Stop to here below Asia session. And the target is pretty much the same. Yeah, hopefully we hit. It's a bit unlucky. You could say, oh, why didn't you just manually close it here at 2 points away? And generally, I don't think it's good practice to, be afraid of the market turning on you and rushing into closing before your target is hit. Obviously, sometimes this is going to happen, and it might even go back, hit your stop loss, and then you're going to be looking at, a huge swing. But that's also going to happen sometimes, and you need to be ready for that, and there's nothing you can really do about it. I don't think that teaching yourself to be afraid closing trades early because of that, I don't think that is good practice in the long run. I think it teaches the wrong impulses and the wrong approach. If that means that sometimes you're going to get unlucky and miss on a lot of profit because of a few ticks or a few points, so be it, it's going to happen. But I think letting the trades run their course is the way to go. DAX has hit previous day high. And the Dow here has done a strong move upwards and now retracing. So if we go back into the Asia range strongly, there might be a case to be made for a sell. But let's see. I'll pause you again for now and bring you back